You see, prior to this, the snarky members of the tech world kind of wrote GitLab off as a, quote, cheap GitHub knockoff, but people weren't making those jokes as much. And as we stepped into 2016, GitLab had millions of users and over 1,000 active code contributors to GitLab itself. Now, it's important to remember that around this time, companies were kind of struggling to figure out how to balance the expectations of their community members working in their open source projects and, well, the reality of, selling something and building an actual business that can stand on its own 2 feet. For many companies, as they grew, they tightened the screws on openness and slowly receded back from the public square. But GitLab did the opposite and leaned right into it like the filthy hippies that they are. And there's 2 examples that are particularly notable here. Firstly, unlike almost any company that I've ever seen anywhere, GitLab released their company handbook in its entirety online, back when they were just 10 employees. Now, this wasn't a sprinkling of boring public policy and trademark usage rules. It was a hefty 2,000 pages of how the GitLab machine worked, how they made decisions, and how they engaged with their community. And secondly, in 2017, GitLab had what can only be described as the coolest possible response to a disaster. So here's what happened. An engineer basically fat-fingered an update to GitLab, and the whole shebang went down. And instead of battening down the hatches and making some PR wonk tell people to go away, they opened up a public Google Doc and even a live YouTube stream and debugged and fixed the issue out in the open. Cue stunned reaction. I remember these moments myself vividly. I'd gotten to know Sid and the team in the early days of GitLab, and he'd actually asked me to go and run a team at GitLab, but I politely declined because I was in the midst of starting my own business, which I run to this day. And that was a really tough decision because I knew Sid and his team really had the right mindset, expertise, and discipline when it came to building a movement and balancing that movement with the reality of running a business. Watching them from the sidelines as they navigated those waters was kind of like watching a friend perform at a concert, a combination of awe, surprise, and pride.